In the heart of a bustling city, a grand private hospital rises majestically. Its modern architecture a striking contrast to the vibrant urban landscape. On the streets, traffic flows ceaselessly. Early morning. The ER doors slide open with a soft hiss. A nurse wheels in an old man wrapped in a blanket. His clothes are worn, shoes cracked at the heel. No one speaks to him.
No ID, no wallet. Just said your name is Mateo Ramos. That's it?
He's probably homeless. Why do they even bring them here?
Mateo Ramos, 68, underdressed, quiet, eyes that have seen too much. Mateo is helped onto a stretcher. He doesn't resist. His eyes are alert but quiet. A younger nurse approaches with a clipboard. Doesn't look at him directly.
Sir, do you have any form of insurance or emergency contact?
No.
Do you understand this is a private hospital?
Yes.
The nurse sighs. Walks off. Back corridor of the emergency room. Mateo is wheeled to the farthest corner bed, near the storage supply door. No curtain. No call button. Dr. Franklin walks past briskly, scans Mateo without stopping.
Put him on observation, but don't waste IV fluids. We need that space by Monday.
But what if his vitals?
He's alert. That bed's needed for real patients.
Mateo remains still, listening to every word. His eyes drift up ceiling, tiles cracked, lights flickering above him. He didn't flinch, didn't argue. But behind those still eyes was a memory of every hallway in this place, and every brick he paid for. Late evening, the ward is quiet. Nurse Elena, 40s, gentle, overworked but kind. She walks in, holding a tray with warm soup and a clean blanket.
You haven't eaten, Mr. Ramos.
I'm fine.
Fines, not a meal. I don't know what you've been through, but tonight you're not invisible here. Not on my watch.
He nods once. No smile. But something in him shifts. She didn't recognize his name, didn't notice the old scar on his wrist, the same one that used to shake hands with ministers. But she saw what mattered. And for the first time in years, he let someone see. Elena walks away. Mateo lifts a folded paper from his pocket. It's a blueprint. The hospital's first expansion plans. His signature is at the bottom corner. Monday morning rotation. The nurse station buzzes. Clipboards are passed. Dr. Franklin reviews the board.
Discharge room 19. No labs yet? Doesn't matter. And move the charity case in 22 before the new donor walk through. We can't have him stinking up the floor.
A few nurses chuckle. Someone mutters, "He still hasn't changed clothes." Elena overhears. She frowns. Room 22. Mateo's bed. Still no privacy curtain. His tray from yesterday is still there. Untouched. Ignored. He's sketching quietly on the back of a used test form. It's a redesign of the ER hallway. His hands don't shake. They glide with precision. This man has drawn blueprints before. Meanwhile, in the break room, Sandra, admin director, judgmental, polished, smiling only when it matters, is cutting cake for someone's promotion.
I don't get why we're still accepting walk-ins like that guy. No ID, no insurance, and he's been here for days. We'll probably never get paid for his stay. It's always the ones with nothing who stay the longest. Well, at least they're quiet. It's the rich ones who scream the loudest. Seriously, he probably hasn't had a hot meal in weeks, and now we're footing the bill.
Everyone laughs. Elena walks in, hears it. Her smile fades. Elena walks in with a folded shirt.
You don't have to accept this, but I thought maybe something clean might feel good.
You don't have to do that. I'm used to being overlooked.
I'm not doing this out of pity. I'm doing it because it's the right thing. You deserve to be treated like a person.
There was a time in this place when people thought like that. Now, being kind feels like a mistake to them.
Elena stands still, unsure what to say. She leaves the shirt on the chair and quietly exits. Mateo is being wheeled back from imaging. A trainee nurse bumps the gurney.
Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Hey, watch where you're going. We can't afford to get sued, even by patients like him.
Mateo hears every word. He turns slightly toward the voice. No anger, No sadness, just memorizing. That night, the hospital receives an internal memo. Board will arrive Thursday for surprise inspection. Staff to be on best behavior. Top donors to be present. Nurses rush around. Sandra checks her lipstick in a glass panel. Staff straighten up beds and print fake care checklists. There's a buzz. Cleaning ramps up. Schedules shift. Patients are suddenly moved. Mateo is told he'll be transferred to another facility.
They said the board's bringing someone new, big donor. Might even be funding our next expansion. Let's just hope he doesn't walk in and see him still here. Oh, don't worry. He's already on the discharge list. I'm not letting that room ruin our image. He's not the kind of face we want on our press walk.
They laughed at his silence, dismissed his hands, forgot his name. But what they didn't know was that the name they'd erased still signed the foundation papers of the very building they stood in. Mateo's bed curtain half drawn. Elena brings water.
They're planning to move you today.
I know.
You deserve better than this.
I'll take care of it. Thank you for seeing me when they didn't.
Elena holds his gaze. Something about the way he says it feels final. Boardroom, glass walls. Staff and department heads are seated for the meeting. Sandra's front row. Dr. Franklin taps his pen impatiently. The double doors open. A man enters dressed in a charcoal gray suit. Polished shoes. Posture upright. Steady pace. It's Mateo. Clean-shaven, glasses off, holding a single folder. The room falls silent.
Is that?
What the hell is this?
You asked for the donor meeting. So, here I am.
Mateo places the folder on the table, opens it. Inside, hospital blueprints from 1992. Original donor deed. Founding signatures, a notarized letter of majority share, transfer back to him.
My name is Mateo Ramos. 30 years ago, I co-founded this hospital with my late wife. We wanted a place where every patient mattered, whether they had insurance or not. My wife and I built this hospital for people like me, the ones no one sees. But lately, the only thing you see is insurance codes and polished shoes. So I came back the way the system treats people now. Invisible. Just to find out how far you've really strayed.
That can't be. You've been staying here. You.
I requested to be admitted without ID. I wanted to see how you treat people when you think no one important is watching. You saw a burden, not a human being. You spoke about me like I was disposable. And you called me a waste of budget. You mocked my clothes, my silence, even my meals.
He holds up a photo, Elena handing him the clean shirt.
But she treated me with dignity when no one else would. As of today, I'm taking back full oversight of this hospital's internal culture and hiring protocols, and effective immediately. Dr. Franklin, your conduct violates this institution's founding principles. You're being placed on administrative leave. And, Sandra, you're relieved of administrative duties. This hospital needs leaders, not reputation managers. And Elena, you're being promoted to Director of Patient Advocacy. You reminded me what this place was built for.
Mateo walks through the lobby. Staff stands still. Some look down. A few nod, ashamed. Elena walks beside him.
Sir, you didn't have to come back like this.
I did. Because dignity isn't something you give to people after they earn it. It's what they deserve just for being human.
They judged his clothes. They whispered about his value. But the man they tried to erase was the one who signed their paychecks. And now, their names were finally on his desk. A room with a name. Hospital hallway later that week. A small crowd stands in front of a bronze plaque. The plaque reads, Ramos Hall, in honor of Mateo, Lucia Ramos, founders 1992. Elena stands beside Mateo. Staff and patients gather quietly. Some clap. Others look on. Ashamed, changed.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know who you were.
Next time, don't wait to know someone's name before you treat them right.
In the end, Mateo didn't seek revenge. He simply reminded them what this place was supposed to be. Not a business, but a home for healing. And for a moment, even the ones who had forgotten remembered. The next time you pass someone in silence, stop and look closer. Because the person you ignore today might be the one deciding your future tomorrow.